and welcome to this intelligent briefing. My name is Mrigaya Dham, and in this edition of our deep dive series, I'm speaking with Alejandro Martinez. He tells us about quiet quitting, how it is disruptive for companies, and how organizations can establish a better culture for their employees. Hi, can you please introduce yourself to the viewers?
Yes, my name is Alejandro Martinez. I came from Spain. I am based in San Francisco. I am an engineer and I am also a psychologist. And right now I am one of the co-founders and chief executive officers at Erudit AI, an artificial intelligence company based in the USA.
Recent years have been difficult with the pandemic, rise in burnout, remote and hybrid transitions, the great resignation, and an incoming recession. What's your biggest learning in the last 2 years?
Well, basically that we need to understand better our people, and that managers need new tools to get better understanding in a less biased way and spending less time. So what I have understood into the last 2 years is that companies really need to understand their people in a new way.
In the middle of all these challenges, you decided to launch Erudit in the US market. What are the biggest challenges for an HR tech startup like yours?
First, I think that the main challenge is to understand that you are not an HR tech startup just because you are providing good learning about people. I think that every manager needs this. And if you are trying to be focused just on HR, you are doing something which is not going to be good for you. So main challenge, I think that, well, manage also a team in different time zones. It was a big challenge, but the US market is already mature in terms of employee listening. They are betting super hard for new technologies and new tools which allow them to understand better their people. So maybe the main challenge are just to manage the team in different time zones and really understand how to fill the gap with our technology between what people have already in the market available to understand better your employees and what they want to have and what they want to achieve. So always filling this gap between what people have already into the market and what they love, what they will like to achieve. I think that's the main challenge for everyone building a tech company.
With an increase in the adoption of remote or hybrid work culture, how do you think the companies can establish a better culture for their employees?
Well, just listening them. I think that everyone is talking about employees are important. Employees are the core of our company. We are an employee and a culture-driven company, but they don't listen. A lot of companies are not listening enough, and as I say, everything, I think that listening is a silence action. It's a thing that you do when you are quiet, So if you are the whole day asking or pulsing surveys or bothering them, that's not listening, that's interrupting them. So yeah, I think that remote work is a game changer for everyone. You don't have your colleagues in front of you. You don't want to talk with them. As manager, you don't have to hold the people under control in the same space and in the same room. So I think that the management needs to be more adult, more related with be an adult person and to really delegate your people and to put on the table better tools to listen in them and to understand how they feel.
Could you tell us more about your remote team and the people behind the AI technology?
Yes, right now we are around 30 and we expect to be over 100 in the second quarter of 2023. We are fully remote. We have people in Spain, in France, in Andorra, in Brazil, in the United States. So we just take a look and we just take a decision when we are going to hire someone about their talent and about their attitude. That's all for us. It doesn't matter where are they based. So yeah, our AI team, the core of our team are tech guys, okay, tech men and tech women. Our AI team is based in Europe. It's led by Ricardo, Michel Reyes, Alexander Denise, and Mark Hardwick. They have really large experience building product and as NLP and AI researchers. Ricardo Michel Reyes is one of the best AI developers in the world. He has 28 years old and he is super brilliant and super result driven. And Alexander is the same way. He has over 50 papers of related with NLP applied to understand better people behavior. So yeah, we are really happy with our team. I think that we have intelligence guys. We just need to surround them with people which is able to deliver things.
There has been a rising concern within organizations regarding a quiet quitting culture. What is quiet quitting and why is it important?
Okay, here I have a trouble with this definition. I think that quiet is because if you think that this quitting is being quiet, is because you are not listening enough, because no one quit from your house or your company in a quiet way. If you listen enough, you will listen. You will hear it, So I think that the problem here is something which is saying that Erudit is really needed. If we have like a kind of pandemic related with quiet quitting, it's because managers and decision makers in organization or people who has to take care of teams or people or capital, human capital, they don't have tools to listen enough and to understand in an enough way what's happening inside their companies. So for my opinion, quiet quitting is something that had happened during our whole lives and since decades ago, but these people was in the same room years ago. So it was not quiet. It was something that you noticed. The problem is that right now you don't have the tool to notice this. So quiet quitting is not something new. It's just something related with the way people quit since everyone, but in remote.
Why is the quiet quitting approach disruptive to the company besides losing an employee? How can Erudit help navigate this?
Well, that's a pain. When people want to quit your company, that's a pain for you. But I think that this is a learning. Finally, if what you are looking for as employee is to be happy, be motivated, to grow into a professional way, and to be in the right company. So I think that companies that need to take this as a learning process. It's a like kind of constructive critic. To really understand what people want to quit or to leave your company. The problem here is that they are not able to open these conversations because once they notice, it's too late, and that's something that we are going to keep seeing and to keep finding into the remote world. A lot of people are working from their home or are working in an unlocated way. So I think that quiet quitting is a good opportunity to really put the necessary tools on the table to really understand which are the reasons behind this phenomenon, and to really understand it. But I think that it should be an opportunity, to really understand what's behind this. The only problem is that most of the managers today, they don't have the tools. And when they notice this, it's too late and that's expensive.
How can employees and business leaders oversee the well-being of their staff? In previous years, this has been done through surveys, but why is this no longer a proficient way of collecting well-being data?
Well, here I have my opinion, but I think surveys are something from the old times, It's like, because, and that's not a demagogic thing, just pay a little bit attention to this. When you are asking, or you are pulsing survey, you are asking for what? For language. Language is the best data source as possible to understand people. It's what makes us different from animals. Language is the basis of the human culture. So 99% of the Occidental companies, they are already working with Google or Microsoft or Slack or Zoom or this kind of internal communication tools. These companies are already storing by default some of your conversations, aggregate conversations, So why are you asking twice for the same thing, the same aggregate thing that you already have? I mean, if you are using Gmail, your emails are being stored. If you are using Zoom, your conversations are being stored. If you are using Slack, your messages are being stored. Why are you asking twice for this? Why are you bothering your employees? You already have enough data. If you treating this conversation in a compliance and anonymized and aggregate way, to understand if your marketing team is worried about payroll, or if your sales team is worried about territory, or if everyone loves the tech manager, or if they are worried about growth or about learning opportunities or whatever. So if you are using these tools, you already have the answers. So we are being super efficient working with survey-based systems because they are not needed. You just need the good tech to build a bridge between what you already have and the questions that you want to answer. And survey-based system, it's not necessary anymore.
In a recent LinkedIn post, you mentioned that true listening happens in silence. What do you mean by this?
You are listening to me right now and you are not talking. That's the only thing that I want to say. And I was listening your question 15 seconds ago and I was quiet. You can't be listening and bothering. If you are bothering, you are not listening, you are bothering, you know? So you can take a look to the market, to a lot of companies like Busier or Culturam, for all these kind of Qualtrics or all these companies, which are great companies, but they are not listening. They are bothering. They are interrupting your best performers in your company with service loops, you know? So yeah, in my opinion, that's not listening. Listening is an activity that you practice in silence.
How does Erudit's AI people analytics work? Why should AI solutions be seen as a supportive tool rather than a means of surveillance?
Well, this is an anonymous tool. As anyone that you can find into the market related with people listening, we just work with aggregate data and we provide free accounts to the employees. So we are showing what are we measuring. We measure this in an anonymized way. We measure this in an aggregate way, and you can also configure how many hearing points or listening points do you want to establish. We can do it every day on real time. You can do it one per week. So basically, we are doing the same thing that everyone is doing, but we are doing this in a more efficient way. So yes, we are anonymized. We are aggregate. And we provide free accounts to the employees in order to take a look to what are we measuring. The action loop is not against employees. The action loop is through team managers. As team manager, you have the responsibility to really manage your people well. You are not just a performer. And if you are a performer, one of the main things which are going to have an impact in your performance is how you treat and how you manage your people. So we are seeing that the way that companies close the loop is to sharing information and asking for things and put tasks on the table for the team managers.
What is your dream for the future of workplaces?
Wow, that's a good one. What's your dream for the future of workplaces? I think that it's the same theme, or it's the same mission that I have with my company, to really help every business manager into the world to understand better their people in a free bullshit way, you know. I'm sorry for the words, but I think that companies have spent a lot of money just for saying, hey, we are understanding our employees, we are listening to them. I think that out there are better ways to do this. And I have put all my effort to put on the table the best way as possible to understand your employees on real time and an unbiased way without bothering them. So my mission and my dream here is to make as much business manager as possible to really understand in a deeper way that if they understand better their people, their business will have better outcomes and provide to them the tool for doing this in the most efficient way as possible.
Are there any parting or concluding thoughts that you would like to add to the discussion?
No, just say to everyone that if you really want to listen to your employees and if you really want to understand better your people, please stop bothering them with surveys and try what we have, because this is much, much better.
Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.